Have you ever helped someone and they never said thank you? Have you ever given everything to people and they asked for more? Have you ever been so kind, so generous, so good that people started using you? There's a painful truth that kind people learn too late. Being good doesn't always protect you. Sometimes it destroys you. You say yes when you want to say no. You help when you're exhausted. You give until there's nothing left. And people, they don't respect your kindness. They exploit it. And the worst part, when you finally say no, when you finally set boundaries, they call you selfish, cold, mean. But what if I told you that being kind without being strategic is the most dangerous trap you can fall into? Today, I want to tell you a story about a man who was too kind. A man who gave everything until he had nothing left, and how he learned the shocking truth about goodness. If you've ever felt used, drained, or taken for granted, this story is for you. Once upon a time in a quiet village, there lived a man named Thomas. Thomas was the kindest man in the village. He had a warm smile, a helping hand, and a heart that never said no. If someone needed help, Thomas was there. If someone needed money, Thomas gave it. If someone needed time, Thomas spent hours listening. Everyone loved Thomas, or so he thought. Thomas is such a good man, they would say. Always ready to help, always so generous. Thomas felt music proud. He believed his kindness made him valuable. He believed his goodness kept him safe. But deep inside, something felt wrong. He felt tired, drained, empty. Every night he would collapse into bed exhausted, wondering, why do I feel so weak? One morning, Thomas's neighbor, Mr. Harrison, knocked on his door. Thomas, I need help fixing my roof. Can you come today? Thomas had planned to rest. His back ached from helping 3 other neighbors that week, but he looked at Mr. Harrison's face and he couldn't say no. He spent the entire day on Mr. Harrison's roof under the burning sun. His hands blistered, his body screamed for rest. When he finished, Mr. Harrison said, Good job, Thomas. Same time next week. I need the fence fixed too. No thank you. No offer to help Thomas in return. Just another request. That night, Thomas lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. His body ached, but his heart ached more. Why don't they appreciate what I do? He whispered. Why do they keep asking for more? Days later, Thomas's friend Robert asked to borrow money. Just 50 coins, Robert said. I'll pay you back next month, I promise. Thomas had lent him money before 3 times, and Robert never paid him back. But Thomas gave him the money again. 2 months passed. Robert didn't mention the money. When Thomas finally asked, Robert, about the money I lent you, Robert's face changed. What? I thought we were friends, Thomas. Friends don't keep track of these things. Thomas felt a knife twist in his chest. He gave and gave and gave, and now he was the bad guy for asking. One evening, the village held a meeting about building a new well. When they discussed who would do the work, everyone turned to Thomas. Thomas will do it, someone said. He's always willing to help. Everyone nodded. The decision was made. Thomas would build the well alone. No one asked him. They just expected it. Thomas sat there silent, his heart heavy. He realized something painful. His kindness had become his prison. People didn't respect him. They used him. That night, an old merchant passed through the village. He saw Thomas sitting alone by the river, but looking broken. The merchant sat beside him and said, You look like a man who gives everything and receives nothing. Thomas looked up surprised. How did you know? The merchant smiled sadly. Because I see it in your eyes. You think being good means saying yes to everyone. But tell me, how do you feel? Exhausted, empty, used. The merchant nodded. That's because you've been given without wisdom. Kindness without strategy is not kindness. It's self-destruction. Thomas frowned. But isn't helping people the right thing to do? Yes, said the merchant. But not all people deserve your help. Not all requests deserve your yes. When you help everyone, your help becomes worthless. When you're always available, people stop valuing your time. When you never say no, people stop respecting your yes. Thomas felt something crack open inside him. So, what should I do? The merchant looked him in the eyes. Be kind, but be strategic. Help, but choose who. Give, but protect yourself. Your goodness is a gift. Don't waste it on people who don't appreciate it. The next morning, Mr. Harrison knocked on Thomas's door again. Thomas, ready to fix my fence today? Thomas took a deep breath. For the first time in his life, he said, No. Mr. Harrison blinked, shocked. What? But you promised. I'm tired, Thomas replied calmly. My body needs rest. You'll have to find someone else. Mr. Harrison's face turned red. I can't believe this. Thomas stood firm. I fixed your roof, your door, your garden fence, and you never once helped me. You never once said thank you. You only asked for more. Thomas closed the door gently. His hands were shaking, but for the first time he felt free. Days later, Robert asked to borrow money again. Thomas looked at him calmly. No. Robert's eyes widened. What? Come on, Thomas. You borrowed from me 3 times. You never paid me back. You even made me feel guilty for asking. I won't lend you money again. Robert's face twisted with anger. You've changed, Thomas. You're not the kind person you used to be. Thomas smiled slightly. You're right. I've changed. I'm no longer kind to people who don't respect my kindness. And Thomas, he felt lighter than he had in years. At the next village meeting, Thomas stood up. I've helped this village for years, he said, his voice steady. I've built, fixed, and given without asking for anything in return. But from now on, things will change. The villagers stared, shocked. I will help, but not alone. I will give my time, but it must be respected. I will be kind, but only to those who value kindness. Some villagers looked ashamed. Others looked angry. But Thomas didn't care anymore. He had learned the truth. Being good doesn't mean being weak. It means being wise. Weeks passed. Something strange happened. The people who used to take Thomas for granted started treating him differently. Mr. Harrison nodded respectfully when he saw Thomas. Robert greeted him politely from a distance. And the villagers, they still asked for help, but now they offered something in return. Money, labor, gratitude. One day, a young farmer named Daniel approached Thomas. Thomas, I heard you're good at building. I need help with my barn, but I'll pay you, and I'll help you with anything you need. Thomas looked at Daniel and saw something rare. Respect. All right, Thomas said with a smile. Let's work together. And for the first time in years, Thomas felt like his kindness was valued. Months later, the old merchant returned. He found Thomas by the river. But this time, Thomas looked different, stronger, peaceful. You've changed, said the merchant with a knowing smile. Thomas nodded. I have. I used to think being good meant giving everything to everyone. But now I know real goodness is strategic. It's about helping the right people at the right time in the right way. The merchant smiled. And how do you feel now? Thomas looked at the sky. I feel free. I'm still kind, but I'm no longer a victim of my own kindness. If you're watching this today, and you've been the person who always says yes, the person who always helps, the person who always gives, hear this. Your kindness is not a weakness, but kindness without boundaries will destroy you. Being good doesn't mean being available to everyone. It doesn't mean saying yes when your heart screams no. It doesn't mean sacrificing yourself for people who don't value you. Real kindness is strategic. It protects your energy. It chooses wisely. It gives to those who appreciate, not to those who exploit. Don't feel guilty for saying no. Don't apologize for setting boundaries. Don't let people make you feel selfish for protecting your peace. One person who respects your kindness is worth more than 100 who take advantage of it. If this story touched your heart, if you needed to hear this today, subscribe to Tales with English. Every story here is a lesson. Every lesson is a light. You are not selfish for protecting yourself. You are wise. God bless you. And remember, being kind is beautiful, but being strategically kind is powerful.